Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Andre.
And I'm Greg. Welcome back, guys.
So in this segment, we're going to learn 5 key points regarding how to start an immigration services business. So we're going to be covering what is the opportunity, what's the ideal candidate, what services can an immigration service provider offer, and we'll come to some industry statistics. And lastly, we would like to tell you how you can learn more about it. So let's start this, and Greg, welcome.
Welcome, man.
Good. So a lot of people have talked to us about immigration. Obviously, we started immigration and we got into it, and we've had many people attend our seminars. But really, what is the opportunity for, say, an income tax preparer or an insurance agent or anybody in the community that serves people with daily forms?
Right. So that's kind of like exactly, one of the things that we've really concentrated on, right? In forming the LAIA, really the goal of the organization was to provide a service to business professionals like tax preparers, like insurance agents, notary publics, or any business professional, or frankly, any member of a community that wants to help members of their community with immigration document preparation, right? So the opportunity is really assisting, if you're a tax preparer or insurance agent, it's assisting your clients and members of your community with an additional service. And that would be the service of immigration document preparation. In that particular opportunity, there's a very high demand and really a small number of people that really provide those services. So these are the services that really a non-attorney can provide.
Absolutely. And one of the things that most people ask us is, how come, what is required? What do you need to have in order to be able to participate? What is it that you need to learn? Is there continuing education? And all these different questions come up because this industry is fairly new. This is like let's say when income tax preparation started or when insurance agents started, it's a business in which we're barely at the beginning, and that's why you need the expertise that we can bring as a group, as the Latin American Immigration Association. So, what is the ideal candidate to start in this business, would you say, Greg?
Well, I would say, in terms of like what we've seen coming through our training program, as you know, we've seen people from all walks of life, all different cultures, right, who's serving all different types of community. But the one thing that those individuals have had in common is, one, they have an attitude where they're pro-immigration reform. They believe that the solution to immigration reform is by providing the necessary services with the document preparation that they can assist with, right? So the ideal candidate is someone, who is really pro-immigration reform. They could be a tax preparer or an insurance agency owner or an insurance broker, an insurance agent, maybe a notary public, maybe a center of influence in their community. Maybe they work with a church group. Maybe you're an existing attorney and you want to branch off into immigration services, right? So our training seminars, like you had mentioned, they're taught by licensed, experienced immigration attorneys, and then we also have another segment where we concentrate on business development, how to actually make it into a business, and we have people that are expertise in that area. So again, the ideal candidate would be someone who wants to help members of their community. If they already have an existing book of business, like a tax preparer or insurance agent, that's a tremendous advantage. But even somebody who's just, let's say, working with their church group or is a trusted member of their community, if they have the ability to work with a large immigrant community, then that community most certainly needs assistance with document preparation services.
Good. So what kind of services can an immigration professional offer? What are those things that they can provide?
So what we really specialize in is we specialize in teaching, what's known as an immigration services provider. Some states refer to it as an immigration consultant. Some states refer to it as an immigration service assistant, right? So it will vary a little bit from state to state. But basically what we do is we teach business professionals how to really handle and assist with document preparation. right? So only an immigration attorney can provide legal advice. So that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about providing legal advice to anyone. We're talking about assisting with the document preparation, right? And sometimes there are other, let's say, professionals that handle document preparation in different areas. Well, this is kind of assistance with document preparation of immigration forms. So the forms that we really specialize in teaching in our training seminars is the most common forms that people seek out that a non-attorney can deal with. That would be forms like the application for citizenship, which is known as the N-400. And those forms really are on the rise right now in the past 6 months. As a matter of fact, statistically, there's a 15% increase in the numbers of individuals that qualify for naturalization that are applying for citizenship.
So let's talk a little bit about that, statistics. Why would people be interested in this business? I mean, what are some of the statistics that can actually shed some light into our viewers as to why is this a good business to be into? What are the number of forms that, say, the Immigration Services is providing about
Right.
last year?
It's substantial. I mean, last year in 2015, and pretty much every year, the numbers will range, but definitely, I think last year the statistics were just over 7 million immigration applications were submitted to the USCIS.
And these kind of forms can be filled out by the individual. They can also go to a non-for-profit, for example. They can also go to what most people go to when they watch media, Latino media, is they'll go to they're pointed towards going to an immigration attorney. But some of these forms, and a lot of these forms actually, can be covered by or helped through an immigration service provider, such as what the people we train, insurance agents, income tax preparers, and yes, we've had attorneys be part of our multiple seminars that we've had in the past. And it's amazing to me, for example, that a lot of the attorneys that they call themselves immigration attorneys are not really experienced. They don't know the courts, they don't know the judges, they don't have enough experience to have those kind of cases under their belt. And so the way that we see it, the way that the Latin American Immigration Association sees it, is there's a tremendous opportunity. Just think of all the people that can go from green card to citizenship. Think of all the people that qualify for a green card that do not have a green card. Not every single one of those needs to be serviced by an immigration attorney. Only those that require legal advice. And that's one of the things that we teach in the class. I believe that we are very, very thorough into making sure that you are able to do only those things that do not require legal advice. And we have certainly a mechanism within our group to be able to refer them over to our expert attorneys and experienced attorneys. And that makes the difference between our group. We're more of a group of people helping each other in this new industry. So what would you say, Greg, would be the way to learn more about what we're doing, and what would be the next step for anybody that is viewing right now?
And just to cover that, you mentioned a couple things, Andre, and just to kind of cover that, right?
Yeah.
So certainly with regards to handling the immigration document preparation, there's absolutely, without a doubt, a need in many, many instances, maybe most instances, for that paperwork or for that documentation for that person to be handled by an immigration attorney, right? But there are certainly many documents, as you spoke about, that can be handled by a non-attorney. And that would be kind of, again, the immigration document preparation. So in addition to, for example, the one I mentioned, the N-400, the citizenship application, we really concentrate on really teaching about 5 or 6 different forms that, that really make up the majority of forms that a non-attorney can assist with. So that would include other forms such as family petitions, like an application to petition a relative, which is the I-130. Also the application for a work permit, which is known as the I-765. And another very popular form is what's known as an adjustment of status, and that's the I-485. And then there are other, what we call peripheral services, which that we also teach people how they can get those services up and running. And that would be services like doing the criminal background checks, also offering like live scan and fingerprinting services, right? But really, in terms of answering your question about, what would be the next step for people that are interested in really learning more about this opportunity, what I would say is the best bet would be for them to join us in our live webinar. It's a 45-minute presentation that you and I do. We do it live. We teach all of the different aspects and all of the different components of the business opportunity, pretty much from A to Z, very detailed and very thorough. So what I would say is, for those of you that are interested in learning more, join us this coming Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be doing a live webinar, Andre and I, and in that live webinar, we'll give you all of the components from A to Z on this business about providing immigration document preparation.
Thanks, by the way, for those first 10 minutes that you've given us. But come to our live seminar, like Greg said, it's next Thursday at 11 Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in 45 minutes, we will also take questions from the audience that we would love to answer during this live webinar. And it's free. All you have to do to come is just click here. We hope to see you next Thursday, and looking forward to having you participate in one of our seminars. It is our calling to help as much as we can in immigration, and certainly Greg and I are dedicated in that effort. We've been dedicated in that effort for quite a while, and our training is extremely comprehensive, and we make it in such a way that those days that you spend with us is really time well spent. So again, go to our free webinar. It's 45 minutes next Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and click here below so you can come. We look forward to seeing you.
We'll see you guys at the webinar.
Thank you.
You got it.